the Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
For 5 straight years, basketball fans have witnessed one of the most electrifying rivalries in recent memory. Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. 2 high school prodigies who took different routes to greatness. Clark chose Iowa. Bueckers picked UConn. And when they collided in college, Clark had the upper hand, especially under the bright lights of the NCAA tournament. Even legends like Gino Auriemma questioned if Clark's magic would work in the WNBA. But last night, the moment finally came. The Indiana Fever took on the Dallas Wings. Clark versus Bueckers, round 1 as professionals. What followed wasn't just a matchup, it was a moment of history. The kind only Caitlin Clark can create. And for the second time ever, she did just that. If you're ready to hear what records got shattered, drop CC record breaker in the comments. Let's go. Now imagine this. 2 teenage basketball stars lighting up gyms across America, with the entire nation watching their every move, knowing these two were destined to collide again and again. Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers first clashed in high school, both sitting atop recruiting boards, but with completely different identities on the court. Clark was pure firepower, raining deep threes, whipping no-look passes, and putting up jaw-dropping numbers. Bueckers, on the other hand, was cold precision, silky jumpers, flawless decision-making, and a basketball IQ that matched Clark's intensity step for step. Their college journeys couldn't have been more different. Bueckers joined the legendary UConn dynasty under Gino Auriemma, a program stacked with titles and expectations. Clark, on the other hand, went to Iowa school with heart, but without a championship pedigree. That bold choice sparked a string of unforgettable NCAA tournament clashes that would shape both of their legacies. And in those defining moments, Clark delivered. She crushed Bueckers' championship dreams in March Madness, dropping massive performances none bigger than her iconic 41-point masterclass that sent the Huskies packing. Clark won 2 out of their 3 college battles, outplaying Bueckers. When it mattered most, suddenly, the rivalry took on a life of its own. Fans and analysts started taking sides. The myth grew. Paige was Caitlin before Caitlin, they'd say. She's the original. But that talk, it started to fade. Because Caitlin wasn't just keeping up, she was surpassing expectations. Her rookie WNBA numbers were already outpacing what Bueckers did in college, but critics remained. Gino Auriemma had opinions, doubting Clark's shot selection, questioning whether her style would work in the pros. He believed Bueckers' fundamentals would translate better. Where Clark played with fire and chaos, Bueckers brought calm and precision. 2 philosophies, 1 league, and Diana Taurasi. She didn't hold back. "This kid's in for a rude awakening," she said, but no one quoted what came next. Taurasi wasn't hating, she was warning. Wrong team, wrong fit, not ready for that kind of physicality. In the WNBA, rookies don't get passes, they get tested. And if you're any kind of competitor, that's your cue to make a statement. Both declared for the WNBA and the basketball world held its breath. When would the rivalry reignite? Clark held a 2-1 edge in college matchups, but the pros are a different beast. This first WNBA showdown was going to be huge. So huge, ABC picked it up for national broadcast. The hype was real. And with Clark facing criticism over recent struggles with the Indiana Fever, the pressure couldn't be higher. Even Clark acknowledged it. Talking with her player development coach, she got reminded. Even Steph Curry goes cold. 27 for 70. She said, "The best shooters in the world go through it." But Caitlin's belief stayed rock solid. "I know how hard I've worked. These are shots I hit. I'm getting good looks. It won't last." But here's where the story twists. Heading into that long-awaited matchup, the Indiana Fever were spiraling. Bad losses piled up. Teams like the LA Sparks and the Golden State Valkyries, not exactly title threats, were handing them LS games. The Fever should have won turned into frustration-filled disasters. We win one, then we lose one, Clark admitted. We can't stack good games together. On top of that, they were in the middle of a brutal back-to-back road stretch. Connecticut, then New York. Coach Steph White told them, "Forget the break, focus on these last three." But the tension was building. Behind closed doors, something deeper was happening. A silent battle of basketball philosophies. Clark wanted speed transition buckets, fast breaks, chaos. White believed in control half-court sets, clock management. And then came the moment everything boiled over. A fiery sideline exchange between Clark and White during the Atlanta Dream game. Cameras caught it all, every word, every glare. It wasn't just a disagreement, it was a visible fracture. The chemistry? Shaky. The vibes? Off. And it wasn't just coaching. This was the third visible confrontation involving Clark, a teammate, and the staff. All in one game. Roster changes didn't help. Clark was still shaking off an injury. Dantas returned from national team duty. Lineups kept shifting. Nobody could settle into a role. The offense? Disjointed. Missed layups, brick jumpers. Sloppy. Turnovers. And the up-tempo offense Clark thrives in? Gone, completely missing. Even she admitted it. Good game, bad game, good game, bad game. That's been our pattern. Her slump raised alarms. But Clark kept firing. "I'm not going to stop shooting," she said, comparing herself to Steph Curry's cold spells. "I know I'm 4 shots away from a breakout." Then came Atlanta. The losing streak finally ended. The Fever got the win. But don't be fooled. The tension between Clark and White didn't magically disappear. That philosophical divide, still there. "Just buried for now. I know I'm close," Clark said after the game. "Just 4 shots away from a great night. So I'm going to keep shooting. That's all I know. And I'm still confident in everything I can do." The Dallas game wasn't just a matchup, it was a test. A test of whether head coach Stephanie White would finally let Caitlin Clark play her brand of basketball. Would she loosen the reins? Or would that lingering philosophical divide continue to hold the Fever back? All eyes were on the strategy. Clark was desperate to prove that her tempo, her style, her vision could thrive at the highest level. And then, something magical happened. Stephanie White handed her the keys. Against Dallas, White made a game-changing decision. She let Caitlin run the show. For the first time all season, Clark was calling the shots, setting the pace, controlling the offense. And just like that, the Fever finally looked like Clark's team. Lee had a season-high 18 points. Boston turned the corner and dished it. 1. Extra pass Clark, deep 3, money, and the momentum started building, confidence flowing. Clark had a pass right on the money to Mitchell, a chase-down block, a flick-ahead dime. Transition magic. Touchdown Fever. Early on, both teams were testing the waters. The Fever looked solid, but not spectacular. Clark was playmaking, involving teammates, letting the game come to her. The wings stayed close. But something was bubbling under the surface. Then came the second quarter. Boom. Clark cranked up the tempo. She started launching full-court passes like a quarterback in rhythm. The Fever exploded for 36 points in the second quarter alone. They outscored Dallas by 21 in just 10 minutes. The energy? Electric. The flow? Untouchable. This wasn't just basketball, it was art. Agumba misses the 3. Rebound Mitchell, you're not catching her. 2 more points. Clark was orchestrating a masterclass. Mitchell caught fire, dropping 20 on 8 of 12 shooting, extending her double-digit streak to 21 games. Natasha Howard? A blur in transition. 18 points, 8 for 9 from the floor. Pure dominance. Aaliyah Boston, controlling the paint, finishing everything Clark set up. The chemistry was perfection. Clark would draw defenders, then dish dimes with laser precision. The ball was flying. Mitchell to Boston. Boston again. Easy buckets. Indiana shot 66%, and then history got rewritten. The Fever scored 64 points in the first. Half a new franchise record that broke their old mark of 63 from back in 2016. And not just that, it was the highest scoring half by any team in the WNBA this season. 30 assists tied a franchise record. 13 of them. Clark, she wasn't just making plays, she was elevating everyone around her. Every pass had purpose. Every possession had pace. Off the bench, Sophie Cunningham was the spark plug. 13 points. A milestone layup to hit 1,500 career points. Her hustle, her energy, it gave Dallas another problem they couldn't solve. The Fever shot 76.2% in that 36-point quarter. A 33-9 run in under 8 minutes. Dallas was rattled, gassed, confused. They had no answers for Indiana's speed and execution. Clark's vision on full display. And the result? Historic, good dub. 2 in a row, 2 more. All-star next. Let's go. Yeah, it was that kind of night. But here's what fans will never forget. Caitlin Clark didn't just win. She made history. Quietly, she was putting together one of the most unique stat lines ever seen. 14 points, efficient and effortless. 13 assists feeding everyone. And then, she turned up the defense. Steal after steal. Anticipating passes before they were even thrown. Clark wasn't just reading the game, she was rewriting it. And then, it happened. Her 5th steal. Final line, 14 points. 13 assists. 5 steals. Only one player in WNBA history has ever done that twice. Caitlin Clark, no one else, and the defense didn't stop there. A chase-down block sparked a fast break assist to Cunningham. It was textbook two-way basketball. Offense and defense feeding each other. Every moment she was on the court, the wings looked uncomfortable. Every pass, every cut, every possession, they felt the pressure. Cunningham attacked the closeout. Clark denied it, recovered. Flick ahead pass. Cunningham finish. Touchdown. Fever. Paige Bueckers and the Wings had no counter. None. The most revealing stat? Araik Ogumbawale, top Dallas weapon, went 0 for 10 from the field. 2 points. That's it. The Fever's pressure and Clark's relentless effort shut everything down. Dallas tried to get physical with Clark, grabbed her off ball, refused to switch screens, tried to bully her. But it backfired badly. Clark used every tactic against them, found open shooters, drove past defenders, took control. The final score? 102-83. Clark had silenced the critics, the doubters, the skeptics. This wasn't just a breakout game. It was a career statement. She didn't just adapt to the WNBA. She's redefining what's possible. The rivalry with Bueckers? Yeah, it's alive. But tonight, Clark wrote the first chapter of the pro version, and it was dominant. This was Indiana Fever basketball. Fast, aggressive, fun. 75-80% of the game was played on Clark's terms. We've only seen this kind of pace in flashes all year. This time, it lasted. And when it does, this team is scary. The prophecy is complete. Clark belongs. She's here among the elite. With the second half of 2025 approaching and the rivalry just heating up, basketball fans better buckle in. The Fever hit the road. Next tough games against Connecticut and New York await. But now, the energy has shifted. If you're hyped for what's next and you believe in Caitlin Clark's rise, comment record breaker below. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single highlight. Click the video on your screen, and we'll see you in the next one.